spirit is something that I'm integrating in my life, and then I'm constantly feeling. And then from that place, the music comes.
And your music is really known for the ability to transport listeners into, we'll just call them higher states of consciousness. I think something that is too common, way too common in the spiritual, genre is not having discernment and saying, oh, because their name is Guru Baba,
Right.
thing, I'm going to just blindly tell, because they have an orange robe, so they must know what my path is going to be. That is a journey that all of us have to take ourselves. However, it is nice to have some way markers and some different techniques that can help us climb that mountain. But none of us came here to have the same experience of life. Your life is, okay, we have some things in common, right? We exist, we're having experience, it's ongoing, we can't shut it off. We're both going to die someday, our bodies, and everything else is different except for those 5 things. Those are pretty common. We're breathing air at the moment, and we need to eat food in order for, us to have energy, or food energy, that not prana energy, that's not for one. But with that said, when we take a look at people that just give over their agency to a spiritual quote unquote master without doing their due diligence, I just have to say, Nate, I love what you just said there, because it's not just about discerning who is going to help lead us, but also the sounds and what we're taking in. And so Joe Dispenza, we've met the man, great person, very popular in the meditation industry.
Sure.
And he has an interesting quote that he doesn't watch anything he doesn't want to experience. The same thing goes. If you're listening to Gojira or Lamb of God or Five Finger Death Punch and something that's really abrasive, think of what that's doing to the water in your cells. Think of what that's doing to your hormones. Once in a while, okay, maybe listen to something really heavy just for some shits and giggles, right? But the people who listen to that all the time, imagine what it's doing on a quantum level, on a cellular level, on an atomic level, to all of their organs.
I thought a lot about that, actually. I feel like there's a really big difference between dissonant sounds and like heavy sounds. So like dissonance and like violent sounds, I'll say, or if somebody's like whatever, like I get how that might not be the best thing, but like really heavy beats, like going like stuff like that could be not sound great, but the effect that it has on the body could actually be like cleansing.
Without a doubt.
So it's really interesting to see what resonates with you. Something might resonate with you that feels weird. And that's okay, because it might be something that's just like jumbling up something you need to let go of or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, without a doubt. And now we've got so many different genres in the EDM. So you've got trap and music, you got drum and bass, which we didn't have back before you were even born. I don't know, I'm quite a bit older than you, but we had Robert Miles, we had Darude, we had, Sandstorm. That was the cool thing as they were coming out. And now you just have all these different types of EDM. And now you even have sitar EDM, which is pretty
Sure.
And the thing that's neat about this is that you can really choose the ones that feel best for you. So I 100% agree with you on that. And I was at a Crystal Method concert several years ago, and I really enjoyed it. But they also had it was a knife party, and I'm like, I don't know that. And then I really enjoyed it because they had that deep, powerful bass. And so to get off on a big tangent there, but I agree with you so much that music has the ability to transform us in so many ways. And it's also, this is something I think is really amazing. There's a documentary called Alive Inside. Have you ever seen that?
I haven't, no.
Oh my God, you're going to want to watch that. If you've ever known somebody with Alzheimer's or dementia, you want to watch that. So what they found was that when they were able to take people who have severe Alzheimer's and dementia, like unable, they're nonverbal, don't remember who they are, and they played music that they.
You know what? I've seen clips of this from this film.
I cried the whole way through that film. I'm just like, that's the transformative power of music. Visual, not as much. because
Right.
seeing their own children.
Right, yeah.
Doesn't
There's so much, and it's such a spectrum, right? There's, like, very peaceful, beautiful, harmonious music, which is typically what I tend to make, and that feels really good. Then on the other side, you've got have you ever heard Wheaty music before?
I am a Bwiti Banzi, so I have been initiated by an African shaman through that tradition. So
Whoa. Okay, so you're familiar with those 2 different time signatures in different years. That stuff is nuts. That stuff will jumble up your cells.
it does.
So it's like surgery. It's like
It is. Oh, it actually is. And so for everybody out there, if you type in Bwiti, Bwiti, Bwiti music, you'll find two different kinds. One is the sacred harp, where they play it like this. The other one is called a mongongo. And mongongo is where they play it to mouth harp, and they bring it's
yeah.
very different. But I agree, and I will never ever not drop into trance like when I hear that. It's that.
But that stuff is especially because they have both like they'll have the as you said, the harp going in one time signature,
Yeah.
and then the other thing going in another.
Yeah.
And just the way that they interact with each other
Yeah.
really does jumble up the system. I wouldn't say it's enjoyable, but at least for me, it's certainly not super enjoyable to listen to, but it's very effective for healing and growth in a lot of ways, I feel.
Especially with large doses of iboga. Yeah.
Yes. Especially with large doses of iboga.
But that is a very unique so there's all kinds of different types of music and things that speak to us. Your sound is a blend of so many different influences. So
Yeah, thank you.
what inspires your creative process the most? Is it nature? Is it meditation? Is it movement? Something else?
It's excitement and inspiration. If I get excited and inspired, that's the energy that moves me to make music. It's the high of potential bliss that show.
So Nate, how do you get into that flow state? We talked about before on another show that you don't go and make music when you're angry, or if you're not feeling it, if you're
Yeah, I try not to. Yeah.
well, how do you get into that flow state when you're producing music?
I feel like it comes with what I'm playing. So very often I just start with piano. Even if I'm not having piano in a track, I still will start on the keys. And I think it's the exploration of tones that creates the excitement in me.
Mm.
And then from that place, it all just grows. But yeah, it's like exploring. It's like exploring sounds.
And
That's
there,
what does it for me. Yeah.
there's a big difference between being a musician and also being a composer.
Sure. Oh yeah. Right. I was a class. I mean, I can't even read music. You could probably read music though. Since the clarinet.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't even know how to read music honestly. And I played I could play like 10 instruments since I was a kid.
Insane. That's insane. I should say would need to. I would really need to brush up. It's been a while, but
Yeah.
that's the thing. As a musician, yes. Could I play Stravinsky? Yes. Could I play Saint-Saëns? Yes. Sure. Ask me to compose? Oh, man, I'm not gonna compose "Mary Had a Little Lamb." That's not gonna work. So it's a totally different skill set, but there's a lot of people out there who are blossoming and budding artists. So we all get into a state if you've ever tried to write a book, and many people have done that and had that writer's block. What advice would you give somebody who's trying to tap into that I guess you call the creative flow?
Yeah. I say just follow the breadcrumbs, follow your own inner excitement. I'm a big believer in the emotional guidance system and following your emotions. I am, there's like these people will say, oh, if you feel fear, like it's like good to go through it and get through it. And that can definitely be true. I think when you get to a certain point though, like fear is meant to steer you away from things. And so on the opposite, I think like excitement, which to me is the same thing as fear. It's just from a different perspective. That excitement is also something to follow. And so I feel like it's really about following your inner system until it reveals itself more and you're like, oh, this is the way to go. And so just follow that excitement. If you feel excited about playing one note over and over again, explore that. Yeah. And don't worry about what anyone else thinks. Just follow your own inner vibration.
Is really profound, where you said that excitement is really excitement and fear can be anonymous, right? And so the way I've been explaining this for a long time is that ex- anxiety is excitement without the breath. Anxiety is excitement without the breath. Once we start to breathe, we start to regulate our nervous system and our chemicals, and we move from anxiety to excitement. And if we keep going, we go up to exhilaration. So what you just said is so true on so many levels. And I've also heard it said, follow your biggest F yes, right?
Right.
And that's the thing though, a lot of people when they get in that fear state or the lack of creativity state, they don't have an F yes. They're just like, I have an F, I don't want that. And to come back to the mindfulness and the oneness and the breath and what you're talking about with Vipassana of being truly mindful of the here and now in every moment, not just because you sat down, lit some incense, put a pyramid on your head, but to actually be aware of your sound, of your thinking, of your speech, of your movement, of yeah. Did you ever see the old show Kung Fu with David Carradine? Any of that?
I don't think I know.
His name in the show was called Grasshopper, right?
Oh, that's where that comes from.
Exactly. And where it came from though is in the even I wasn't born when this series was on, but I've seen it a lot. And the Master Po, his master, who was a blind Shaolin monk, he was sitting there and he says, "What do you hear?" And he says, "I hear the wind, I hear the birds." And the master says, "Do you not hear the grasshopper which is at your feet?" And he looks down and here's this little grasshopper that jumps away from his foot. That's where it came from there. But it really comes down to awareness. Are you aware of the grasshopper at your feet? It's just a matter of saying, look at all the things you're missing because you're not paying attention or you're thinking too much. And most people, they know more than they think, but they also think more than they know.
Mm.
And consciousness is so important that that's what you help people do. You, with your music, you help people get into the here and now in this state. When people are listening to Equanimous, that is one thing that it might seem to some people like maybe background music, right? We talked about that, that it can be used, listened to in the background. But that's also a really important thing, I feel, because with these amazing frequencies and the words and the people who collaborate with, have that subconsciously being put in your brain as opposed to, I don't know, turning on Fox News and having that in the background. Let's not.
100%. We actually have a playlist dedicated to that called I'm Thriving, where it's just positive affirmational lyrics.
Oh my God, I'm writing this down.
It's definitely more catered to the hip hop scene. I think a lot of hip hop is not very conscious. And so this is really a playlist that aims to just replace that kind of hip hop with positive affirmational hip hop.
Yeah, I think.
As I'm thriving, no G's, so just I'm thriving with a dash at the end.
Oh no, thriving. Okay, I'm thriving. No D one playlist. Everybody go get it. All right. I have a feeling that might be my new workout playlist, honestly.
Cool.
Because I don't like to listen to hip hop. I like it. I like the beats. They're like sounds, but I don't like the message most of the time.
So all the messages in this are extremely positive and yeah.
Awesome. And that's so cool is that you span so many different genres. And I know that you collaborate with a lot of people. So what do you look for in an artist when you're creating music that's really meant to elevate consciousness? Because there's a lot of people you could work with, but not all of them are going to be Equanimous worthy.
I think they gotta be on the same vibe. Like, what I really listen for is is people's sound design, because that's that for me, and I spoke about this on the other podcast we did, but I'm not the best at everything at all. And so I seek out people who are better than me at certain things, one thing being sound design. And for me, it's like, who can really provide a really good, sonically beautiful sound that then I can play notes through kind of thing.
Yeah. Mm. I love it. Yeah, and that you were talking about the dissonance. Some people, they might have good music by themselves, just like binaural beats. If you put a tone in this ear, it might sound great. Put a tone in this ear, it might sound great. Put them together, and you get that dissonance, which creates brainwaves. So you've also had the opportunity to perform at massive festivals like Electric Forest and Lightning in a Bottle.
Right.
IB is massive, right? So how do these immersive experiences, how do they really shape your artistic direction? Because I'm sure you get a lot of inspiration from other artists or things kind of
Yeah.
spot when you're in these big places with all that energy, all those people.
I think it's just about providing a space for people to celebrate and heal through joy. And if I can align with that as much as possible, I think I'm doing a good job. And for me, festivals that you mentioned, they're about being with community and celebrating and healing and transforming and growing. And if I can provide the music to facilitate that, then I'm doing a good job. And so that's what I'm aiming for.
Yeah. Awesome.